What if I told you that with just 10 English words, we could build an entire story? A story of crisis, community, and finally, resolution. Today, we're not just going to memorize a list. We're going to see how words build worlds. Let's see how it all connects. Right. So forget about boring vocabulary lists. We're going on a little narrative journey. By the time we're done here, these words won't just be definitions floating around in your head. No, they'll be characters. They'll be actions, part of a story that you'll totally get. Okay, every good story needs a beginning, right? And ours kicks off with a crisis. Let's meet the first 4 words that are going to set this dramatic stage for us. Okay, so picture this. Into a totally normal, quiet town, something or someone completely new arrives. It's an alien presence. And nope, not necessarily little green men from space, but something totally foreign, completely unfamiliar. The town's normal routine, it's just been completely turned on its head. And just as quickly as this visitor showed up, a problem emerges. The visitor begins to ail. They start to get sick. And just like that, all that curiosity in the town, it turns into genuine concern. Now, this isn't just a minor cold or a sniffle. The situation gets serious, and it gets serious fast. The visitor is in agony. We're talking extreme, undeniable pain. So think about that progression. We've gone from unfamiliar to unwell to a state of intense suffering. And seeing someone in that much pain doesn't just happen in a bubble, right? It starts to agitate the entire community. People are disturbed, they're upset, they're worried. What started as one person's crisis is now a public one. So the community is on edge. There's a real crisis in their midst. How do they react? This next part of our story, it really explores that initial kind of chaotic response to the challenge. Well, in all that confusion, people start to allege things. They make claims without any proof at all. It's a curse, some might say. They brought this sickness with them, others might whisper. Fear is starting to take over where facts should be. And this is exactly how chaos spreads, isn't it? When people don't know what's going on, those whispers can turn into accusations. Unsupported claims, these allegations, they start to poison the atmosphere, and they can turn a community against itself right when it needs to be united the most. But not everyone gives in to fear. And this is where our story takes a turn for the better. Amidst all that chaos, some people see the suffering and decide to offer aid. They step up, offering help and support. They choose compassion over suspicion, and that one choice changes everything. But just offering help isn't always enough. The helpers, they understood they had to be alert. They needed to be watchful, attentive to every little change, and constantly aware of the situation as it was unfolding around them. And this really is the key question, isn't it? Having good intentions is one thing, but how do you actually organize all that help? How do you turn it into a real solution? Well, our final act is going to reveal the plan that turns all that chaos into coordinated action. All right, this is where the chaos starts to turn into competence. Our final set of words, they don't just describe what happened, they actually form a clear 3-step plan that the community puts into motion. Here it is, their path forward. A simple, clear 3-step plan. It's all about being quick, getting organized, and being effective. So let's break down exactly how they pulled this off. First things first, they had to be agile. With the patient's condition changing by the hour, their response had to be super quick and flexible. They realized pretty fast that a rigid, one-size-fits-all plan was just going to fail. They had to adapt as they learned more. Next up, and this one is so important, they had to align all their efforts. Think about it. All those individual offers of aid needed to be arranged properly, brought into one single coordinated strategy. No more people working at cross purposes. It was time to work together. And finally, once all their efforts were aligned, they could allocate their resources. This just means they could distribute the aid, the medicine, the food, the support, to exactly where it was needed most. This way, they made sure that nothing was wasted and everything counted. So, there we have it. We've journeyed through a whole crisis and found a resolution. But what we've really done is build a powerful vocabulary toolkit that you can now take and use to tell your own stories. And just look at this, our entire story, right here in 2 columns. We started with the crises. An alien visitor shows up, begins to ail, and is soon in agony. This starts to agitate the community, and people start to allege all kinds of things. But then came the response. People offered aid, they stayed alert, became agile enough to align their efforts, and finally, allocate help effectively. See? It's the whole journey from problem to solution, told through our 10 words. And this is exactly why this method works so well. You didn't just memorize definitions from a list. You saw these words in action. You saw them create tension, build drama, and drive the story toward a resolution. And that's how new knowledge really sticks with you. So now, I'm going to leave you with this final thought. These 10 words are no longer just a list. They're tools. They're sitting in your communication toolkit, ready to go. They can describe a problem at work, a personal challenge, or even a whole fictional world. The only question left is, what story will you build with them?